Whoa, it's Drake. Welcome in Mad Talk Sports episode 53. Drake, good to have you
What's
back.
going on, everybody? Episode 53, back in action. I'm
Back in
ready.
action.
Back
First
in
of the
action.
new year, 2024. So you could kind of say this is like our third year of business because, we started in 22 at the end of it, did all of 23, and here we
And
are,
then,
24.
yeah, 3
Yeah,
years strong. Look at that.
3 years strong. And the title went with for today, let me see if I can pull it up here real quick, is Deja Vu, and it's because we've been here before. Specifically, those three guys on the title slide there with Flacco in the middle. I feel like we've kind of seen this before from him, and then Tomlin and the Love on our left, or I guess your left on the screen too. Packers Steelers. We were here last year talking about these teams in Week 18 as far as trying to get into the playoffs for that final spot. So that's gonna be something we talk about today. Is everyone fighting for the final spots in the NFL playoffs, and then obviously going through our usuals as far as like our weekly medalists and our picks for next week. But we do want to spend specific time on things like the Pro Bowl and things like these teams fighting for spots right now. So a lot to get here today. So no time to waste. I think we could start right with that deja vu. Drake, we've been here before. Last year, both of our squads, we were playoff hopefuls. We were Packers control their own destiny. Steelers, not perfectly, but had a strong shot. And me and you talked about earlier, Drake, for like this week for the Steelers, but it seems like you guys are in this spot a lot to where you need to win and you need some help.
Always. I feel like every year I'm watching a game that I don't want to be watching, just hoping that some scrub team wins. Um, like this weekend, I'm going to be watching the Titans Jags game, which I want nothing to do with that game, but I have to watch it because I need the Titans to win. So as long as we get what we need to done on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the nice thing though, at least you get to play on your own and not have to like double watch. I guess
Yeah.
that's something. Uh so you guys, what's the scenarios for the Steelers to get in? Like, do you have multiple outs? Like what's the easiest path? Is it the Jags losing? That's the easiest way in?
That's what I think is the easiest way in. So like as long as we win, if we win,
Hmm.
I personally I think that the Jags losing is the easiest thing, or they could tie. Um, Otherwise we need Buffalo to lose.
Mm,
Which I don't know how confident I am in that because Buffalo's also play. If Buffalo loses, they're out of the playoffs, which
yeah.
I don't. I see them winning. But if we win and they lose, we're in. If the Colts and Texans tie, we're in. But like that's not gonna happen. Um, and then if we lose, we need the Colts and Texans to not tie. We need the Jags to lose, and we need the Broncos to win.
Hmm. Who do the Broncos play? The Raiders?
Yeah.
Gross. Must be like a strength of victory thing or something.
So if they win and the Jags lose and we lose, we make it. But I'm just hoping that we win. We beat the Ravens, which we will. I think we're gonna win for sure. And then I think that the Titans beating the Jags, that's probably what's gonna happen if we make it. But if Buffalo wins, Jags win, we're done. We're out.
Mm, brutal. So like that's an automatic killer.
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough. And that's what stinks is like you guys just like cooked up the most like mediocre
It
season,
was so mid. Like
Yeah.
if we wouldn't have lost to the Cardinals,
Or the
the Patriots,
Patriots.
or even, the Colts, like we should have won that game too. I mean, they
Yeah.
blew us out, but like we should have won that game. Like those were 3 games that I want back because if we would have won those, we wouldn't be in this situation right now.
Yeah. Because once upon a time, you guys were what, like 7-4, looking like in a strong 5-6 seed spot to where you controlled your destiny.
And
Mitch
then we
went in.
fired Matt Canada, and we lost 3 straight.
No, you won the first one, didn't you?
Yeah. But then
The
we
one
lost
game to
3
get
straight.
400 yards, and then after that, it just fell apart.
Yeah. But,
Wow.
then it was Kenny got hurt. Mitch lost 3. And now our
Mason
savior
Rudolph.
is here, and we're putting up 30 points.
What do you
I
think of
feel
it?
pretty good. I don't know, man. I feel pretty good.
You feel good about getting in, or if you get in?
Both.
Oh,
I feel pretty good.
so what do you make of this with Mason Rudolph? Like, it's obviously neither of us have been a fan of Mason in the past, but he's been putting up the best results all season of anyone on the Steelers roster.
Yeah, I know. He's not scared to air it out, which is what I like. Which is what I like to see. He's pushing it downfield to George Pickens, which is something that Kenny Pickett can't physically do. And if Mitch Trubisky does it, it's an interception.
Yeah.
And I don't like Mason Rudolph. I think he stinks. But like you said, he's performing the best.
Yeah.
And that's what I can cheer for and root for because, like I said, to you personally, like we got back-to-back 30-point games. That's something that Kenny Pickett's allergic to, and that's something that we never would have ever done with Mitch Trubisky. And Mason Rudolph's just a vet, he's game managing well. We're running the ball well. I don't know what's going on. Our defense is kind of playing like not great. We got a
No,
lot of
it's not.
injuries on defense.
Yeah.
And for me to say that our defense isn't playing great, but our offense is playing good, I don't know, man. I'm
I know.
liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah. It's like ever since like George Pickens started complaining and all that and not blocking for Jalen Warren, all that good stuff. Since then, he's been balling, and the offense has been too.
Yeah. I mean, and Najee's having a great last couple games too.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Getting in the end zone, which he hadn't been
I
doing
know.
as much in recent years.
So I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's like I said, we lost 3 games,
Yeah.
and now we're doing what I wish we would have been doing all year.
Yeah.
So
So with that, now that you've cooked up yet another very mediocre team, mediocre season, but the streak stays alive for 17 straight winning seasons. There's been a lot of chatter about Mike Tomlin. I've come on here and I've defended him. What do you think? Is his job safe? Like, is that conversation outrageous?
he's not going anywhere. I mean,
Period.
yeah, it's mediocrity. It's not a losing season. We don't have a ring since 2008. But Tomlin's got 2, and it's outrageous for them to say Tomlin only has 2. He only has 2. I mean, I would
I
take
agree.
2. That's a Hall of Fame coach. I think a clean house would do good. I think we need to bring someone from the outside in is what we need to do. Not
As a head coach?
No, absolutely not. Like an OC
Mm,
or a DC or just a coach to be around, you know?
yeah.
And yeah, when Flores was there, we had a good we had a good culture, we had a
Yeah.
good staff. You just got I think we got to bring someone in from the outside just to be around. Cuz I mean, Big Ben said it on his podcast. He just there's no one in that locker room that has the Steelers culture, you
Hmm.
know. besides like Mika Fitzpatrick. I know he's
Cam Hayward.
really vocal. Can't he was hurt for a while, I think, when Ben had said it. But there's no one that maybe it's just offense, I guess, that I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. But there's no one that has that Steelers culture that we've always had, that play hard, you want to be there, you want to win this and that. And it's Mika Fitzpatrick spoke up, Cam Hayward spoke up, and that's what we needed. I just think we need to bring someone in from the outside. Mike Tomlin, he's safe. He's all that fire Tomlin slander. I won't get behind that. I like Tomlin.
Good. Glad to hear it.
It's mediocrity, but you know what? I'll take not losing, not having a losing season. Because, I mean, then you're just, bad. I don't want to be bad.
Right. Yeah, at least you get to enjoy the season. It might be frustrating at points, but at least you're always relevant.
And at least I know we're going to win some games.
Right.
I don't know which games we're going to win, but I know we're going to win some.
Can't count the easy ones either.
We're going to lose to the Cardinals, but we're going to beat the Seahawks.
And then beat the Ravens early in the year, too.
Exactly.
So. Beat the best team in the football.
Yep.
Maybe you'll beat them again next week.
Yeah.
Helps that they're resting their starters, but.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Tomlin's job is safe. Obviously, a lot of change needs to happen if you guys ever want to get out of this 9-8 slump, 9-8 streak that you've been on for some time now. But I think you guys are fine. Just small changes that I think are doable. A big part is can be finding a quarterback. But look at the Browns; they got Joe Flacco. So if you put everything else together right, you can get by with, someone who's got a little bit of moxie and a little bit of a veteran energy to him. You guys should be keeping an eye on Kirk Cousins.
I would take Kirk for sure. But you know what? No, I'm not gonna say. I mean, maybe Mason Rudolph is gonna be useful, serviceable.
Maybe on a foggy Christmas Eve so he can guide the sleigh tonight with his nose so bright.
But yeah, I would take Kirk Cousins. But
yeah,
I just don't know. I don't want to give up on Kenny yet. It's his second year. He's been hurt. But it's just hard not to.
It's over. He stinks.
Haven't seen him without Matt Canada.
This is true.
So I just don't know.
I guess right now,
maybe Kenny would be doing better than what Mason Rudolph is doing right now if he was playing.
Maybe. We don't know, and we might not find out.
If I don't have to find out, that's fine. But then I would just hate for him to go to shipped somewhere else and then play good. I would hate that. That would make me so mad.
I don't really see it happening. Like, he wasn't, a highly touted prospect coming in, and I don't know. It's almost like he's got he's on the Sam Darnold track to where maybe he gets another shot somewhere, but likely he's going to end up being a backup on a good team. So either way, at least you guys that, still in the mix here got a good 50-50 shot on getting in. Yeah. So could be worse.
How about the Packers, Joe?
Deja
you guys are in. You could be out.
Yep.
But you're in. You'll be in. I think. How do you feel? You got the Bears this week.
Deja vu. I am very aware of the parallels between last year and this year. From the Packers standpoint, we were at one point in the season down and out. Last year we were 3-6. This year we were 2-5. And then we were also 6-8 in both seasons, to where we needed some help and we needed to win out. And so far, so good. And we're in line with what we did last year. Last year, week 17, we crushed the Vikings. This year in week 17, we crushed the Vikings. And now it culminates with a win and you're in game, a pseudo playoff game to cap off the season. And both times at Lambeau. Last time we were hosting the Lions, who started the season 1-6 and ended up being 9-8 after beating the Packers in Lambeau. This year we play the Chicago Bears, who started the season, I want to say, also 1-6, or at least like 1-5, and are now not quite on that same level, but they've rattled off 6-7 wins here to be, a respectable team that's playing well, playing better, and would love nothing more than to beat the Packers and keep them out of the playoffs. They hang banners for that shit for the rest of these NFC North teams. So I am very aware, but this ain't last year's Packers. Now, that's for good and for bad. Our defense, I do think, is a little worse than it was last year. However, I don't consider the defense to be the strength of the team. Our offense is a lot more electric than it's been since, the Aaron Rodgers MVP years with LaFleur, because this is the most spread out weapons we've had. We don't have just one guy that can make plays. We've had a great next man up mentality all season, no matter who's been out. So I feel really good that the offense is going to come to play, even though the Bears defense is tough. But I'm not taking this game lightly at all, because while for us, this would be just the beginning of our journey, I understand, as Rodgers said on the McAfee show, this is the Super Bowl for the Bears.
Yeah, and you said it that their defense is playing very well. I mean, can the Bears beat you? Yeah, they can. Will they? Probably not. I mean, it's the Bears. You guys have the Bears number always. I mean, they can be what, 8-9. You guys would be 8-9. Imagine the Bears finishing with the same record as the Packers. They're playing for something. You guys are playing for a spot. They're playing for something. A win over the Packers, that you haven't heard that in years.
They haven't. 2018.
Nope. I didn't know it was that far back. But
LaFleur has never lost.
They've been hot,
Knock on some wood.
They've been hot. They beat the Lions. That was a good game. They had a great game against the Browns. Yeah, they should have. That Browns game, that was a good game. That was a tough game. Smoked the Cardinals and smoked the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't smoke you guys, because I don't want to hear you cry about it.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. But
hey,
I think they could beat you. They could.
It's the NFL. It's the NFL. Streaks are meant to be broken. Hopes are meant to be crushed. That's life in football. Now, for the Packers, one thing for sure that I wanted to see this season is Jordan Love the guy? And I believe he has checked every box but one now. Can he perform in big-time games? And this is his first chance at that. Now, it's not at the same level as if both teams were winning you're in, to where it was truly a pseudo playoff game, or it's not the same as an actual playoff game. But this is the closest we'll have a chance to see of that in regular season action. Can he be that guy in those critical must-have-it games, which I believe he's a baller. He's been performing as the best quarterback in football, if you just say the best last 2 months. Now, obviously, like players like Lamar Jackson have a lot to say about that. But from a numbers standpoint, Jordan Love has been having an excellent tear. And from an eye test, he makes some special throws. So I'm already happy with what I've seen from Jordan Love. But right now, we want to double dip. We're not satisfied. We know we have a really good opportunity to steal a playoff spot and steal some playoff experience with the youngest team in the league, with the only team in NFL history to have this many touchdowns by rookie and second-year players. It'd be a huge accomplishment, but this team you just feel the hunger. So I'm really excited to see this game play out. I know the Bears aren't going to let us walk over them, but I know the Packers are ready for it too.
I just want to say that I hate Jaden Reed.
He's a beast.
I hate him.
He's a dog.
I'll never like him now. It's his fault. I lost my fantasy matchup because he decided he was going to go crazy and then get hurt.
He's a dog.
He did just enough to beat me and then
And
got
then
hurt. But back to Jordan Love. Yeah, he's been playing well. Very good.
Yeah, very good.
He's caught on. I mean, the Giants game was
He
that's his
missed a couple, but
it's his only bad game since probably us.
yeah. And
And
if you
again,
recall that game, I even said I thought that was when he turned the corner.
yeah. And since then he's been, you know what? I'm
Pulling up
from what
stats.
I've seen, he's been very well. Oh yeah. Besides that Giants game, no pick since us.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yep.
We're just gonna exclude that Giants game because I already said that was a bad game. You know,
Yeah.
2+ touchdowns in every game, 100 passer rating and every. Yeah, I mean he's turned the corner for sure.
Yeah. And I know Bears fans are secretly raging inside, but right now they're still trying to play the, this is fake card. So we'll see if they can do that.
Every team who needs a franchise quarterback is pulling the I hate this card. It's like, how do you get 3 of them in a row if Jordan Love turns out to be even good, like even good,
Yeah.
us, we were blessed with Bradshaw and Big Ben, and now we can't figure it out. Why couldn't we have a Jordan Love come through? I would take Jordan Love over Kenny Pickett for sure.
You don't say.
So yeah, every team who needs a franchise quarterback,
Yeah.
it
I mean,
hates the Packers right now.
yeah. And then at some point people are gonna start to look at it and be like, there's a method to this madness. Like, it's not just random. Like, obviously there's some level of like, you gotta get the right guy, but also if you get a guy, you give them time to develop under an offensive coach behind an established guy, you increase the chances by a lot that they're going to be a good player. So you can influence like your chances at getting a QB. Like, there's no, it's, again, it's not all a perfect science, but there's things you can control to put yourself in a position to hit more than you miss, while other teams like the Jets, obviously, draft, crap them out 2 years later, try again. Draft, crap them out, go again. So at some point, it comes down to the cultures too.
Or you just pull the Browns and you go out and you get Joe Flacco, or
Yep.
and then you make the playoffs.
The Browns are rolling. Love what the Browns have been doing.
So
Well, let's go
just
ahead.
as a brief side note, because we're not going to talk about the Browns too much.
Mm-mm.
Just a quick, don't spend too much time on it. What do you do if you're the Browns?
With Watson.
Yeah.
What can you do? No one wants to trade for him. And
No.
you cut him, that money's all guaranteed. It's all on the books. Like, hold on and pray he turns the corner. Like, what can you do? You just hope you win it with Flacco, and that, like, whatever happens from here is just gravy, like, honestly, like, you poured what, $300 million in 3 first-round picks into an asset that is untradeable, unmovable, invaluable, and just totally useless to you as a franchise. You made your damn bed, so you lay in it. Like, I'm not going to feel bad for them on that front. I'm still rooting for them to do well with Flacco this year, but when it comes to Watson, like, good
Their
luck,
fault.
Browns.
I mean, Browns is the Browns, man. Like, honestly, if Deshaun Watson like had came back right now, he'd be on the
Rolling
bench.
back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And if Flacco had said, "I'm going to come back to the Browns next year and sign another deal," Flacco's the starter week 1 next year.
As long as he doesn't turn into a pumpkin like in the first game of the playoffs, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah. Go Browns.
It's this story that, like, You know, I love my division. I love all the teams there. I
What
hate
an
them when we
interesting
play them.
concept.
I hate them when we play them, but like
It's
I
the best
can't
division
help
of football.
but exactly for sure. I can't help but root for the Browns right now.
Yeah. No, I hear you totally, especially because like all year, even when they were doing well, it was like, man, it's a shame that they don't have Chubb. They could have been special. It's a shame they don't have Watson. They could have been this. It's a shame Amari Cooper's nicked up. Whatever it was, and they just kept winning, and
I know
I love it, dude. The next man up mentality, like Kevin Stefanski's a lock for Coach of the Year. We'll talk more about that next week in awards, but man, it's so impressive.
for sure, for
All right.
sure.
Well, now that we're getting towards about the 25-minute mark, we'll move along so we can get to some of these other topics here too. Real quickly, let's go through our medalists from last week, week 17. Kind of a lot of options here, honestly. But Drake, who's the bronze for you?
Russell Douglas.
Oh, there we go.
He had a great game and a crucial win for them. 2 picks, a pick six,
Yeah.
couple pass deflections. He was locked down. He's been great for the Bills, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
tough. But yeah, Russell Douglas, bronze.
He's a beast. That's a good pick. And I think I had him earlier in the year too. I think he's had multiple like 2-pick games with the Bills, which is just nuts. So great addition by them. Packers I'm still not sure why we did that. My bronze is just the overall Packers offense, just with the way that they performed against the Vikings defense that I do believe is good, but also a Vikings defense that was kind of like the low point of the Packers season earlier this year when we played them and they totally locked us down. And that was when everyone started to question, like, is Love the guy? Is LaFleur the guy? So, like, just the way everyone collectively has grown since then. And it all culminated in that Sunday night game on New Year's Eve. A good way to wrap up the calendar year. Deserving of a medal.
When I do that, you're like, oh.
Well, I was going to say just Love, and then I was going to say just LaFleur or just Reed, but then I was like,
Gotta go all of them.
Yeah. My silver is someone who he also killed a lot of people in fantasy this week, and that's CeeDee Lamb. And he took that as a way to break the franchise record for receptions and yards for a franchise that has had Des Bryant and Michael Irvin amongst others. So he could have easily been gold, but I'm gonna give him silver.
My silver, we talked about him already. So Jordan Love. 4 total touchdowns, almost perfect passer rating, or perfect. I don't remember.
I think it was like
It was
130
almost
or
perfect
something.
or perfect, but and we've said I said he looked like he's turning the corner and it looks like he's clicking. So
Yep.
Jordan Love got my silver, and then gold couldn't go any other way. Apparently, he's the MVP front runner. Lamar Jackson.
There we go, Lamar.
Pinpoint with his passing, 5 touchdowns, no picks, 158 passer rating.
Yeah, he had the perfect passer rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I agree. That's my gold too. Where else can you go? And for me, he helped win me my first, fantasy championship. So like, what are you doing? Like I was in 4 leagues this year, went first, third. Those are the first and third. Those are the leagues I had Lamar. Leagues I didn't have Lamar, I took 12th and 12th. So apparently I'm Lamar dependent.
Yeah,
So,
you better take him next year too.
yeah, apparently might as well try to keep them in those other leagues if they're keepers. So yeah, Lamar, MVP front runner. I think he sealed it up. I think with some slips from Tyreek and McCaffrey, like the non-QB MVP conversation has kind of died. So we'll see, though. I guess, you never know if Tyreek goes for 200 against the Bills on Sunday night to get into the playoffs, or to win the division. Maybe, but it'll be hard. We'll talk more next.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's just, yeah. It's not that hard to put up Lamar Jackson type of numbers when your defense puts you at the other side of the 50 every single possession, okay?
Whoa. We got some Lamar slander on Mad Talk.
No. It's just the MVP front runner is just, crazy to me. I don't think any quarterbacks are playing MVP front runner type of level right now.
I would agree with you.
And I've
Had
thought
those,
it all year.
I know you
I've
did,
thought it
and I
all
was there
year.
with you. I was there with you, but I think over this last like 3 weeks, those contenders kind of faded a little to where it's hard to make the argument anymore.
Yeah, I mean Tyreek was hurt,
Yeah,
which it sucks.
and they won without him. Like that hurts
Yeah,
your case a little bit.
yep. And I mean McCaffrey, Purdy's been playing well without
Yeah.
McCaffrey playing well. Well, having the huge numbers. So I mean I get it. It's just that Ravens defense is special. Like
Oh, for sure.
super special. And I do think that Lamar's numbers the last 2 weeks have been just insane, but
I'd say had he not popped off like that, you'd be right because then his
yeah,
numbers would be rather pedestrian. But pretty much from that Rams game and onward, the Rams game where the defense didn't play well and gave up 30 and Lamar had to lead like a game tying drive at the end. Like from that point onward is when Lamar really solidified it. But to me, it's yes, the defense is elite, best in the league, second best maybe. Them and the
for sure.
Browns are 1 and 2.
For sure.
But for Lamar, what helps his case is the fact that he's done it no matter who's gotten hurt.
Yep.
Dobbins out for season. Mitchell, the other running back who emerged, out for season. Mark Andrews missed half the season. And his just ability to continuously hum for the offensive side of the ball once the season got rolling. And just the way that you see him frighten defenses, like the eye test makes you see, like, man, that is the most valuable player in the league this year.
There's definitely like it's not necessarily slander from me. I just would like to see it not be a quarterback award. So I've been heavy on that this year.
I know.
Like, yeah, and Lamar's been playing phenomenal without Mark Andrews. He's been having his best weeks without Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr. it's still a shell of himself, but he looks relevant.
Now
And
he's a
Lamar's
shadow.
not, shadow, not a shadow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's
shadow.
not.
You see the shape, but you're like, I don't see all the same, but I see the shape.
Exactly. And Lamar, he's not running the ball. He's not using his legs. He's passing the ball.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he is going to win the MVP. I just would hate. I just want it to go to somebody else. Give it to Myles Garrett.
He ended up falling off with
Dog.
sacks. He's going to end the season with like 14. It's hard to give a defensive player it if they don't get 20 sacks,
You know who needs it then? TJ Watt.
No, shut it.
He's going to win deep way again. He better. I swear to God.
Who's going to beat him? Trey Hendrickson?
No.
Sacks wise, up there with sacks, right?
It's Hendrickson.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
TJ's got 17, I think.
Yeah,
but I don't get me into the TJ Watt talk because he
didn't get a sack last week. He was the only leg that missed on the parlay.
Well, if they would stop holding him and he'd get called for it.
Oh, all right. I see how it is. All right. Well, let's take a break from all the award talk since we still got a week of football left, Drake. We got to talk some Pro Bowl because that is decided here. So that's all been announced. You can go check it all out for the Pro Bowl games. But a couple quick general categories here to, obviously don't want to go through everybody, but
yeah.
What was your biggest surprise? It can be anything. What was your biggest surprise?
So my biggest, it's so tough. So like, I think my biggest one is probably Kyren Williams.
Oh,
Not because I'm surprised he made it, but I'm just surprised that like he made it. Like I'm not surprised they selected him, but I'm surprised that he was able to perform well enough to make it, missing 5 games.
Mm,
And he's been he and I didn't even know who he was coming into the season. That guy's gonna be he's
no,
small, whatever, but he is just phenomenal. And I think
he's
that's probably just my biggest surprise. Not even just Pro Bowl of the entire year, but I guess like my Pro Bowl surprise would be that Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen both missed.
yeah. I said Josh Allen. I saw Diggs on someone like commented on like a Bleacher Report like post or something of like most biggest snub or something. I'm not surprised on Diggs because he fell
No.
off for the last 10 weeks, but Josh Allen for sure. Even though
Yep.
he obviously had a rough ass game to end or not to end, but to cap off his game against the Patriots last week. But just from the name standpoint, and just he did have excellent stretches this year too. Like I'm just surprised. Like not that it was a snub necessarily. Like I
Yeah.
I don't I don't think I'd put him in there over Tua or Lamar or even Mahomes. You could argue he's more valuable or better than like Tua for instance, but that was just a surprise. I was just kind of shocked to see it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean with Diggs too. Like you think of Diggs as a top 5 receiver. We
Yeah,
both had him there coming into the season with our list. Or he was in our top 10 at least. And
yeah,
the last, like you said, 10 weeks, he's not a top 10 receiver.
no,
Performance wise. He's still Stephon Diggs, but I don't know,
yeah.
man.
I think he's got like maximum 2 or 3 games left in Buffalo. I think he's on his way
Hmm.
out. That might be part of it too. Is like a mental thing. Like he maybe just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. And that was the talk all year,
Yeah,
off
it was.
season, everything.
So those are guys that missed that surprised us, but who missed that was a snub.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Easy money.
Mm,
Lock.
wow, over Puka, over AJ Brown. Who else is in the NFC that made it? CD Lamb.
Mike
I'm
Evans.
missing one. Mike Evans. Ooh, that's tough.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's having a he's having a phenomenal year, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
It's
one.
tough. It is like, those 4 guys are also having good years. Do I think he should make it over Puka? Maybe.
Mm.
AJ
He's been the
Brown's not
one.
having he's AJ Brown hasn't had a great last few weeks. I mean, I
No,
don't know. But Amon-Ra St. Brown's got to be in there somewhere. He's got to be.
he's just like a guy. You got to find a spot for him, like
Yeah, he's
regardless
got
of
to
who
be
you're
in
taking
there.
out.
Yeah. He's got to be in there. Like
Mm.
I'd say CD and Amon-Ra are locks for the NFC. Figure out which one of AJ Brown, Mike Evans, or Pookie you want to leave out.
Brutal, dude. That's a hard conversation. That's a good one though. I haven't seen anyone point out that Amon Ra's not in there, and you're right. He's absolutely deserving to be in there, not just from like his stats, but like he is so critical to making the passing game work in Detroit. So I think that's a good choice.
And what he does after the catch,
It's incredible.
100%.
And just the way he finds openings against against zone defenses. He was on my championship team too. So you'll get no Amon Ra slander from this end of the table.
I had him in my top 10 list,
You
and
did. Shout out. I did not.
he's there for sure.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's a good choice. Shocker. I went to the defensive side of the ball and I went with L'Jarius Sneed in Kansas City, cornerback. So
Huge.
I think you could argue he was the best cornerback in football this year. And for the fact that he wasn't on there, I think was purely a name game. Like you can't argue to me that Pat Surtain or Jalen Ramsey or even you could argue Denzel Ward. I'd listen.
Yeah.
But those other two guys, you couldn't argue with me that they are more deserving of a Pro Bowl this season. And that's why I hate the Pro Bowl. It's because it's not about deserving. It's why I do care about AP All Pro, but man, I hate the Pro Bowl.
Me too. But like, they're nominated for a reason, you know. Like, I don't know.
No, I get it.
But 100%, you know, Jalen Ramsey missed half the year. There's no reason he should be in there over Snead. No reason.
Well, he was mine for our least deserving category. Mine was Ramsey, even though he's been balling. He's been
mine
huge.
was Ramsey too. So
yeah, it's just the fact that he didn't play for 2/3 of the year. You know, he came back and he made the team better. So like, he's still a really good player. I'm not saying he's not, but come on.
Yeah, he was my least deserving too. But my most deserving is a guy you had mentioned, and that's Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett.
Oh,
I think both of them. Ward's been locked down this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Myles Garrett, he's been him. I wanted to say TJ Watt but like I wanted to step away from the Steelers and I put Myles Garrett in there, but because obviously like the only lock of the season of the entire Pro Bowl list is TJ Watt. That's the only one that is like you just knew he was going to be there.
The only one. You can't say that about McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill.
Nope.
You're arguing those guys as MVP. You just wanted to, puff your chest out for TJ Watt without choosing him, but still talking about him.
Yeah. And then thinking about it, also most deserving, I gave it to Denzel Ward, but you got to go on the NFC side too and also give it to Devin Witherspoon.
Hell yeah. Spoon, Legion of Spoon. You'll get no arguments from me.
Yeah. But my pick is Denzel Ward. That was my most deserving. That was the one I had.
My most deserving, I'm going to sound a little contradictory here because this guy also missed a significant amount of time. But Kyren Williams, despite missing 4 or 5 games, he's second in the league in rushing yards, and the offense has completely gone as he's gone. When he started in the season, everyone's like, hey, sneaky Rams, they're dangerous. And then he disappeared and everyone's like, Rams are out. This is the Seahawks spot to lose. And then he comes back and all of a sudden they put up 30 pieces back-to-back weeks on the Browns and the Ravens. This man, I said it last week, we're in the year of the dragon now. This is the dragon that's been born.
Yeah. I was just talking to one of the guys in Big CJ in Big Shit, and he's a first round pick He's a first round pick next year for sure. Lock. I don't know how early he's gonna go. He's got to go top 5. He's got to go. He's a dog.
Right. Well, hey, off the dome right now, top 5 would be like McCaffrey, Tyreek, Jefferson,
Kyren Williams. Jefferson. Got to go Jefferson. And honestly, I'd probably CD.
Right now. That's a good conversation. Yeah, I mean, he puts up this again, then why the hell not? Yeah, that's a good point and accurate.
Receivers are valuable. That's what I've learned this year. Receivers are valuable, and you can get Pacheco's in like a 3rd round. You can get, not necessarily like a no RB strategy, but like,
yeah, I hear you. Like, you're not.
Gibbs is a first rounder too.
I agree with that.
So,
can't wait for fantasy draft again next year. Too bad we gotta wait 8 months.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so we already did least deserving. What about a random takeaway from just kind of like observations you made?
Matthew Stafford is incredible. Granted, the Pro Bowl doesn't matter, but like for him to make the Pro Bowl, he missed some time, didn't he?
2 games, I think.
So he missed some time. Cooper Kupp, his all-star receiver, hasn't been playing well. You get this no-name rookie, and you're on a team who, like you said, has been up and down with talks of, they're not going to make it. If Kyren Williams plays, he's good. But Matthew Stafford's been playing well, too.
Yeah.
And it's just a random takeaway because, like, you don't hear much about Matthew Stafford, but he's been a part
Sweet.
of the 3 like best receiver seasons, if you know it. Like
Yeah.
Megatron, Cup, and Puka. Like, and all what they have in common is their quarterback is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. I think you're right. He's got a unique capability to know who's the guy and how to get the guy the ball. So that's a good takeaway. Matthew Stafford is a underrated beast, even though he is a champ now. He's still underrated.
Yep.
My random takeaway isn't going to seem so random because it's coming from me, but no Packers Pro Bowlers. And I'm not specifically arguing that they were a bunch of snubs or anything because, like, Jordan Love had obviously a rough stretch in the season. Rashawn Gary missed time. He disappeared for parts as well. Aaron Jones hurt all year. Most of the receivers were up and down, healthy. Jair out most of the year. Like, everyone missed time, but the takeaway, besides Packers not having any, is why this is also just so impressive what the Packers have been able to do turning their season around is the next man up mentality across the board on such a young team. Like whether Dobbs has been mostly healthy, but with Watson out or Reed when he's missed games or Wicks has emerged and he's missed games. And then guys like Bo Melton step in, people that no one's ever heard of besides Packers fans, and they go for 100 yards and a touchdown on New Year's Eve primetime. So like this Packers team is young and a lot of hungry people that really appear to play as a team and a lot of nobodies to most people in the league. And I think that's actually why this Packers team has a lot of potential moving forward, not just this year, but, I obviously as a Packer fan, I want to see them in the Pro Bowl, but I didn't expect anyone in particular. And I'm overall still very satisfied with this team. I don't feel like anyone was like, a major disappointment or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean that's a good takeaway too. You know, obviously, like, why would I notice? But I didn't notice that there were no Packers.
Right. And
It's just because I wasn't looking for them. I was really looking for who made it on the Steelers.
yeah, if it weren't for Kevin Stefanski, I'd be on here saying how like this is proof that LaFleur needs to be freaking coach of the year. Like he's had some seasons where he was worthy and he's just never really gotten it because there's always someone else that was just like a little bit more impressive from like a further off view. But definitely still hats off to what LaFleur has been able to do with this team. But yeah, Pro Bowl. Now that we got the rosters there, obviously not all these guys are going to actually play in the Pro Bowl, and there's going to be some late additions to where who knows, maybe Tyler Huntley ends up back in the Pro Bowl again.
Yeah, who knows? You don't know who's going to make the Super Bowl.
Yep,
The Niners could be playing.
That's very true, and there goes half the roster.
Exactly. So you never know, man.
Yep. All right. Well, let's carry on here to talking about some of these playoffs. Well, not the playoffs, but the playoff teams. Do you know that voice? The coach from the Colts back in the day. What's his freaking name? I always forget it. But you know the clip, and he's just like playoffs. You know it.
No,
I swear to God. All right.
I probably do.
Well, right now we're going through hunt or punt. Stupid one there. I couldn't think of anything better. But these are teams that are in the hunt, and we're just going to kind of go through them real quickly in terms of like what their chances are to be successful in the hunt and what they can do if they do actually get in. So starting on the AFC side, we did talk about the Steelers already, but I guess if you had to put like a number on it, Drake, what are your chances at getting in?
Oh, 75%.
Oh.
I'm confident that the Texans are going to beat the Jags. I mean, not the Texans. The Titans are going to beat the Jags. I am confident in that.
Wow. And obviously you're confident in winning yourselves.
Yeah. That I'm not worried about that.
Wow. 75.
So I either think that as either the Bills are going to choke and Tyreek is going to run for 200, going to go for 200 some yards, and Tua is going to have 5 touchdowns, or the Titans are going to win. You would say, what's our chances of winning? 100%. 100%. We're winning. We do what we need to do. That's all. We do what we need to do, and then we sit around they sit around on their couch in their locker room and on their couches, and I sit around and I watch on my cell phone of games that, like I said, I shouldn't be watching.
Yeah.
We always do what we need to do.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. Now, if you do get in, what are you gonna do? It can be dangerous.
Oh,
Oh.
who's the quarterback? Mason
Mm,
Rudolph?
yeah. Red nose.
Could probably win the first round. Dolphins? Psh, I want to play the Dolphins.
Oh.
I don't want
Yeah.
to play the Dolphins.
I mean, you guys are definitely matchup dependent, but
Yeah. I mean,
it's Dolphins or Bills though at this point. So
I don't know what the bracket would look like because I'm not looking at it right now, so I can't picture it. I don't know who else we'd play besides the Dolphins.
no, that's it. You're playing Dolphins or Bills because that's who's going to be the 2 seed,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
guys can't get any higher than 7, I don't think.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean those aren't horrible
I like
matchups.
either of those matchups, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
and
like
then
the Bills a little more.
After that, theoretically, if you did get in, obviously that's a big if, and then if you did be the 2 seed, obviously another big if. Then you'd be set to go play the Ravens, the 1 seed, so a team you know very well, which it's a pretty decent prospect.
I would take us in that game too. We always got the Ravens number. We have Lamar Jackson's number. I know that. So if
You're
we
about
can
to
win,
pick them to go to the Super Bowl at this rate.
I would. Who would we, dude? Yes. And then because if we beat the Ravens, if we went through the Dolphins and we went through the Ravens, a team like the Colts, that's not going to matter.
That's who you're stubbing your toe against is the mid team. That would be so Steelers. You know, you win the hard game, and then all of a sudden you lose to the mid team.
Yeah. No,
Sorry,
I mean there's nothing we really could do.
You're a pain in the
celebrate
butt.
that we got in.
I think you could be a pain in the butt depending on who you play. All right,
could we beat the Bills or the Dolphins? Yeah. We could. Yeah. And then could we go and beat the Ravens?
Sure.
It always happens.
Yeah.
Will we beat the Bills or the Dolphins? No.
Yeah, can I roll a 3 right now? Oh, yeah. Can I roll another 3? Sure. Am I going to? Probably not.
Did you actually roll a 3?
No, it was a 6.
I was gonna say that'd be.
No one could. I could have lied. No one would have been able to verify, but
that's true.
I'm on the same page. I think you guys got a decent shot at getting in. Obviously, it sucks that you don't control your own destiny, but we talked about it. I think you guys got a decent chance. You should be able to beat the Ravens, and I think since you have multiple outs for who you need to lose, that's helpful. And once you get in, it depends who you play. I do think you can be a pain in the butt if you if Rudolph keeps playing well, especially, and if the defense gets back to what they do. So I think we're on the same page there. How about the Texans? They, obviously are the other big game of Saturday.
So you have Texans and Colts on here.
Right.
And so they're both win and get in. Or lose and snooze. Texans, do I think they could do anything if they do win? Probably. I mean, they can be just like the Steelers. They can be scary. CJ Stroud's a dog, but they don't have Tank Dell. Their run game is non-existent, and them making the playoffs would be a win for the season, just for the Texans in general. So,
both of those teams,
both of them, yeah. I mean, the Colts rolling with Gardner Minshew losing their franchise quarterback, who looked like he's going to be
looked like he was going to be good. Yeah.
And then to come all the way and make the playoffs, they could also be a pain to some teams. I
Yeah.
think either one of them would play the Browns. If I'm thinking,
If they win the division.
they'd be the yeah,
Otherwise,
and
they'd
they
probably
would need
play the Chiefs.
yeah,
Ooh, both of these teams are a pain in the butt for the
yep.
Chiefs. I think everyone's a pain in the butt for the Chiefs right now, but everyone
I
except
agree.
for maybe like the Chargers.
Well, I'd say the Raiders, but oops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Texans, Colts, 50-50 shot for both of them, winning you're in. And I think, yeah, like you said, they both could be a pain in the butt.
Yep.
Either way, both of them should be very proud of the seasons they put together. And getting in is the cherry on top. And then playing a tough playoff game, maybe one of these teams upsetting the Chiefs would be absolutely madness. If that's the way it happened in the
I
playoffs, like
know.
just to knock off defending champs and everything like that. It'd be crazy. So, they can do something special and really set the tone for the culture of, their organization. It's a big week for the AFC South, between the Jags, the Colts, and the Texans. Like the Jags thought they were about to control this division for 10 years to come. I don't know. So, Jags side of it, if they lose, this is a monumental failure. There would be no sugarcoating it.
100%. I mean, I want the Texans to win because I like CJ Stroud, and that would just stamp Rookie of the Year if it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it doesn't go to the guy we've talked about fairly often this episode, but I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's hard because I mean, I'd be cool with any of these teams making it in across Texans, Colts, Jags. Obviously, the Colts are the least sexy of those three, but they're a good story, and I like Shane Steichen a lot and what they've been able to start building there. And I like their defense too. So I like watching how they play. So any of them are the Jags. I don't know if I can say like they're fully deserving, but obviously they had a good strong start to the season. So we'll see. I think any of these teams can be a tough out once the playoffs roll around. But to wrap up the AFC, how about the Bills? Obviously, this is the game of the week. Bills at Dolphins for Sunday night. Did I lose you, Drake? Well, I got a pixely Drake on my end. Let me see if I can remove them and add them back, maybe. Remove, add back. Still a pixely Drake. Well, to keep rolling until Drake's able to get back connected.
There we go.
You back now?
I think I'm good now. I think so.
You were just,
I didn't hear
you're
anything you
stuck at
just
the
said, but
bottom.
we're gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna pretend you just talked about the Texans, the Colts, and the Jags.
I did. Well, first I was like, is Drake frozen?
Sweet.
Click him out, click him back in.
Oh yeah.
You're just stuck at the bottom of the screen, like.
Yeah, all I
right.
heard was that's all I heard.
Well, hopefully it comes out clean.
But I'm back now, and you're back.
Good. Let's talk about the Bills. Biggest game of the week. Bills
Bills.
at Dolphins.
Huge game. Winning you're in, losing you snooze.
Well, for the Bills, it's winning you're the second seed, losing your Audi.
Yeah. Dolphins, I think they are, if they lose, they're not in still, are they?
I do think
Yeah,
they
clinch.
secure a wild card spot.
Yeah, they clinch.
Yeah, so it's less pressure for them, but it is pressure in the sense that they have a snowball's chance in hell of getting to the Super Bowl if they're not playing most of their playoff games at home. And if you're the wild card, you're probably playing 0. And for the Bills, it's pressure because, winning, you're the 2 seed, and lose and everyone gets fucking fired. That's how I feel about it.
Lose and you no longer have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs combo. Granted, that's probably already gone anyways, but if they can make a playoff run, maybe it can be rekindled or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they don't make the playoffs, he's out the door. He's gone.
Yep.
He'll be a Cowboy next year.
I agree. I feel like it's just destined to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
And with how much that both of them talk about it, Trayvon
yeah,
and Stephon, destined.
he wasn't nothing until bro got there. When Trayvon tweeted something
Yep.
like that.
Yep. At
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yep. All right, let's quickly go through the NFC side before we wrap up everything today with our Week 18 picks. So the NFC, I guess we could talk about the NFC South as a bunch. The Bucks are in a winning you're in situation against the Panthers, and then Falcons and Saints have to pray for help to spoil that or to sneak into the wild card. I do still think there's an outside chance there, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think about the NFC South in general? Is it the Bucks and everyone else stinks?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the Saints have been a major disappointment.
Major disappointment.
Major disappointment. Who am I missing? Oh,
The Falcons.
obviously. They stink. And then Panthers stink.
Yeah.
So, and this is Baker's comeback year,
Yeah.
He's
Tough week last week, but still.
Yeah, he did, but he still threw 2 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
And they're 8-8, something I didn't expect. And they're going to be the 4th seed. So,
all right. So you got the Bucks beating the Panthers.
oh yeah.
They should be careful. The Panthers played them tough a couple weeks ago, which obviously they stink, but
yeah.
you gotta be careful in those type of games.
What was it? 21-18?
Yeah, something gross.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, the Panthers played you guys pretty tough too.
They did.
So maybe they are gonna be a little sneaky, but I don't. If the Bucks lose, they're out, right?
They would need they have a scenario where they lose and they still make it. I don't know if it's like Falcons Saints tie or something like that, but they do have like a backdoor cover type of thing out there. But it is pretty much going to be like if you lose, you're out. Like in all likelihood.
I can't even find it if they lose. Huh. Okay. I don't, unless I'm just not good
at researching.
Yeah.
Well, screw it. Whatever. They need to win and they're in. And if they do get in, they got a shot to beat Philly, who they'd likely be welcoming in to Tampa Bay. But I think that would be the end of it. If they were able to pull something like that off, that would be as far as it goes.
The fact that they would have a home playoff game is just so annoying. We've talked about that before, though.
Yeah, we don't got to get stuck there. Yeah. And next up was going to be the Packers. We don't have to talk as much about that because we already went pretty in depth here. Obviously, it's control your own destiny. Winning, you're in. And if they do get in, as of now, they'd be slated to play against Dallas. And that would be quite an exciting matchup as far as obviously the McCarthy versus Packers narrative, the Packers versus Cowboys in general narrative, as far as like just brands. And, Packers have had a lot of success in that building over the years. So that'd be a fun game. And it would be a hard game for me to pick, as the Cowboys were my Super Bowl pick NFC pick preseason. So it'd be hard for me to back off that, but also hard for me to pick against the Packers. But that's why right now we're focused on the Bears.
Yeah, got to focus on the Bears. And don't mean to go back to the Bucks. It did take me 4 minutes to find, but if they lose, they would still clinch the final wild card if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks and the Packers lose to the Bears. So they got to win. But yeah, Packers, what would you guys do? Lose to the Cowboys is what you would do. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we just played the game of like, oh, the Steelers could beat this team and that team and that team.
It it just so happens that you guys are going to probably run into the team that I think is the best team in the NFC.
Oh,
yeah. I do
and that's
think that the
Cowboys?
Cowboys are the best team. I do think that they are.
Oh.
If you played the Eagles, okay, I would say what we did for the Steelers. That you
What
guys
do you
could
mean?
probably beat them.
Yeah.
But like
That's fair.
I think that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFL. In
In the
the
NFL.
in the AFC,
Okay.
in the NFC.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
This might be my best preseason prediction year of all time because my pick was Cowboys Ravens Super Bowl, and man, I feel good. It's amazing what I can do when I'm not picking the Packers every year.
Thank you. See, you just gotta be realistic.
Yeah, for now.
Until next year when it's Jordan Love's second year and you guys sign Odell and you're like Super Bowl.
Gross. I don't want Odell. We got better receivers than that.
I'm just kidding.
All right. What about the Seahawks? I feel like for them, it's got to be deja vu too, like the exact same. Or like last year, if you remember, we both wrote them out or wrote them off like late in the year. Not to talk about Geno writing them off, but we did that, and then somehow they backpedaled their way into the playoffs because the Packers screwed the pooch and wet the bed at the final hour. So that's really their only chance to get in yet again. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate it, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm very happy that happened as well. I mean, so if you guys lose, I believe they're in again, right?
Yeah, as long as I think they do still need to win, right?
Yeah. So if they do make it, do they do anything? No.
No.
They don't do anything.
Nope. Not at all. All right. Well, that wraps up the NFC. The NFC wildcard teams after the Rams aren't quite as dangerous. So we'll wrap up today with quickly going through our Week 18 picks. Now, a lot of these games like flatly don't matter. So normally I make all my picks like the morning of. I did not have time, so I'm going to be doing all of these on the fly. And I also have not looked at the spread for any of these, so I'm going to be looking that up after making the pick too. So first up, Steelers at Ravens. If I had to make a guess, I'd say it's Steelers minus 2.5. Drake's obviously got the Steelers. I'm also going to take the Steelers, and I'm going to go 23-16. Let's see how so I said minus 2.5 for the Steelers. It's actually minus 4. So Vegas likes them too, Drake. So I guess you could have some, you could rest easy there. Big game, Houston at Indy.
Wait.
What?
That ref crew that is under slander right now is reffing that game, and I'm highly disappointed about it. Anyways, Texans Colts.
Well, it's in Indy. If I had to guess, I'd say Colts minus 1.5 is the spread. Let me slide on over. It is Texans minus 1.5. Usually I feel like the road team doesn't get that benefit, but Drake, who are you going on this one?
Texans. CJ Stroud is making the playoffs in his first year.
I agree with that. I got Texans 24-20. Jags at Titans. If I had to guess, the Jags would be minus 5. Drake's got the Titans.
Got the Titans.
Let's see. The Jags are minus 3.5, so they're not, heavily favored.
Or maybe I should pick the Jags so that way the Titans
I'll do it
win.
for you.
All right. Okay.
I got Jags kind of struggle fest, winning 23-17.
No, but you're on a roll this year. You got to switch that to the Titans, man. We helped you beat this. We beat the Seahawks for you. All the least you could do is pick the Titans, so that way we
I
can
always get a
make
few
the
wrong. I always get a few
playoffs.
wrongs.
Okay,
This will be one of the ones
this
I
is
get wrong.
this is the one.
If we didn't spend so much time talking about it, it would have been like the role we were on earlier in the year when every game we didn't talk about for more than a second is the game we got
True.
wrong.
All right.
So
Repeat. Jags, Titans, Titans.
Jags,
Boom.
Titans, Jags, go. Okay. All right. Minnesota at Detroit. I have no idea if Detroit's resting guys or not. So that makes this a hard one to
I didn't
predict.
see.
I'm going to say Detroit 5.5.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings though because I think that the Lions will rest and Justin Jefferson's still playing. So
You got the Vikings.
yeah,
I think that's
just
fair.
because I think the Lions will rest.
I agree with you. I'll go Vikings in the upset, 20-16. That's one of the games that doesn't matter that I almost tempted not to pick at all. But Falcons at Saints. Who's going to win the silver medal in the NFC South?
Falcons.
The Falcons.
The Falcons. The Saints are absolutely terrible.
So are the Falcons.
I know,
Give
but
me
at
the
least the
Saints.
Falcons, I don't know. Falcons.
Give me the Saints. I don't like picking the Saints, though. Give me the Saints, 23-19. We got a 23-19. All right, Jets at Patriots. I'd guess the Patriots are 5.5-point favorites here.
I'd take the Jets.
You take the Jets, really?
I'll take the Jets.
I'm taking the Patriots. They've won, 14 straight against the Jets?
Streaks are meant to be broken, remember?
This is going to be a 17-10 game. Gross. All right, Tampa Bay at Carolina. This game does have some stakes. I feel like Tampa Bay's got to be favored by a solid 6.5. Let me verify, though.
I already picked earlier. I already spoiled that one. I got the Bucks.
Buccaneers are only favored by 4.5. Ooh. These spreads are a little weird this week. All right, Cleveland at Cincinnati. No Joe Flacco. So maybe Cincinnati's favored by 4.
I would pick Cincinnati too.
Holy crap, they're favored by 7. Give me the Bengals.
Well,
I didn't say my pick for the last one because I'm trying to tighten my scores down as I do everything. I also have the Bucks. Though I do think Carolina will make it kind of hard on them.
Probably.
And then I got the Bengals as well. Bears at Packers. Packers I already have this one up, -3. Wow.
I'm going to pick the Bears.
Oh, you fucker. I'm going the Packers. What do you think this is? Packers 24-17. 24-20.
I got the Bears.
Huh?
I got the...
Oh,
Yeah.
the pixie dust. All right.
Yep.
Cowboys at Commanders. Cowboys, it's win and secure the 2 seed.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys. If they lose this, that's embarrassing.
Imagine the momentum going into the playoffs, losing to the Commanders.
That's what they did. Like, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but it was something gross. Yeah. Okay. All right. Denver at Vegas. Talk about a game that doesn't matter. What is it? Vegas by 2.5, maybe?
I'd take the Broncos because if we lose, we need the Broncos to win. So,
wow. I was also while we're on it, I was exactly on the money with this one, 2.5. I'm picking the Raiders, 23-20. Ugh, gross game. All right, Eagles at Giants. Man, what a game.
Eagles.
Struggling. Scared to pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're 5.5-point favorites. I'm also going to take the Eagles in like a, let's get right headed into the playoffs game. Seattle at Arizona. Drake, we got.
I got the Seahawks, man.
Sure?
I don't know, man.
You don't
I'm
know.
gonna take the Cardinals.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Someone's got to do it. I feel like the Seahawks are going to take care of business, though.
The Cardinals have been feisty, man.
They have been, dude. I'm not arguing with you. And shout out Kyle last week sniped this pick. He didn't. I don't think he picked the Cardinals to win, but he talked about how like Gannon gives them a significant edge against the Eagles. So shout out. But yeah, Connor's been balling. You're right.
For sure.
All right, this next game, sneaky interesting. It's Carson Wentz at Sam Darnold. Rams at Niners.
With every single person sitting, literally everybody. They basically have me and you out there playing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the 49ers because they can't sit Kyle Shanahan. So
that is well, the Rams can't shit. Shit. Wow. Okay. Sit Sean McVay.
No, but dude, Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Niners too. All right. Kansas City at the Chargers. No Mahomes, though.
Chargers.
Chargers, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if the Chargers could win if they tried. I'm taking the what? I'm
You're
not
gonna take the Chiefs?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I don't even. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs.
You're not picking the Chargers.
Absolutely,
the Chargers
not.
are terrible.
They are garbage. Dude.
What are they?
They're so garbage.
4-12, 5-11.
Something pretty brutal, dude. Like,
I will take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs for sure.
Flipper.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay.
Now, the piece de resistance is Bills at Dolphins. Bills 2.5-point favorites on the road.
Nah, Dolphins. I'm telling you, Tyreek Hill, 200 yards, 2 tuds. 2 was going for 5 of them. Stephon Diggs, 1 catch.
Let's do it. Let's go with the Dolphins. Dolphins kind of winning like how they beat the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. Yeah, let's go. Let's go with the Dolphins. It's going to be a grinder game, a grinder of a game.
It's the last game of the regular season. It's the only game probably where all of the stars are going to play.
Yeah.
It's something, the end of the season. What a great game. Sunday night.
It is a great game. It's a lot of pressure for both these teams, too.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I can't believe I picked the Dolphins. I don't believe in them at all.
I know you don't.
I'm flipping. I'm going to the Bills.
It's at home.
Flipping. It is. That's
you're flipping. I hope when the Dolphins win, you're gonna be like, I shouldn't have flipped.
Probably. Most of the time this year when I've flipped, it's gone very poorly. But hey, that'd be good for you. So, right, you guys need the Bills to lose?
I mean,
or it would help.
It would. I mean, it's a scenario.
Okay.
If
then I don't feel as bad.
We win, the Jags win, I'm going to be rooting for the Bills.
Okay. Well, let's go Bills.
Nope.
All right. Well, there's a good, handful of games out here that'll be interesting to watch this week, but obviously only, a few are the real good ones. But that's a wrap here on episode 53. A little bit longer than the last couple of weeks, still underneath the hour and a half mark. So good timing here. I think next week will be hard to stay under time limit because we're going to have a lot to talk about heading into the playoffs.
But I think we could, yeah.
We'll do it. We'll be able to do it. There'll be less games to pick. That saves some time and everything like that. So we good.
I mean, there really won't be that much to talk about. It's an all playoffs episode.
Yeah, that's the longest conversation.
100%. We got to do our picks next week too.
The whole bracket that we have to stick to this time, not round by round, switch it up.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. So a lot of exciting stuff. And Drake, it was really good to have you back on this week, getting back into the swing of things here. A lot of good stuff, but that's a wrap for episode 53.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Peace out, everybody. Give us a follow. Check us out at Mad Talk Sports. That's Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. But other than that, we'll be catching you again next week.
Peace.